I did this for so long. I can't believe I did this. And I felt myself humiliate myself over and over and over again doing this. And it almost drove me completely out of my mind until I turned the corner on it. Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. If you don't know me yet, my name is Tiffany and I upload a new homemaking video every Sunday. I'm so happy that you're here. I hope you are having a wonderful day. And today is going to be a chit chat video. I am going to be talking to you about ways that I have learned to live with more dignity. I prefer to live my life in a dignified way. I don't always succeed, but I have found that practicing these 10 things has really helped me be happier and more proud of myself. So I thought that I would share them with you and maybe they'll help you out too. So let's get on into it. First of all, I'll give you a definition of the word dignity so that you know exactly what it means. Dignity is a noun and it means the state or quality of being worthy of honor or respect. I like that definition. I am happy when I am living in a way that makes me feel like I am worthy of dignity. So I am going to just share a few of these things with you. The first thing I'm going to tell you about claiming your own dignity is take your own experience seriously and come to terms with how you feel about it. I have spent a lot of my life feeling embarrassed and ashamed about how I really felt about certain things, and that is really no way to live. It took me a long time to understand this, but once I did understand it, my life really freed up and I felt a lot more proud of myself. It's okay to feel how you feel about anything. And you just have to come to terms with it. Don't act on it all. Definitely use your judgment in terms of what you act on and what you don't, or what you say or what you don't, because sometimes how you feel about something is fine inside. You just don't want to act it out in the real world. Coming to an understanding about how you feel about something will lead you to being able to communicate whatever you need to communicate about how you feel if it involves other people. So highly recommend. That's going to give you a lot of dignity. Get on your own side 100%. The second thing that gives me dignity that's important to me is keeping a neat appearance. I struggle with this because I'm creative and I tend to fall down these like sloppy rabbit holes where I'm not thinking about how I look very often, but I like to look nice. So whether that means just brushing your hair or brushing your teeth or just taking care to make sure that you're neat and feel good and proud of how you look is important, even if you're home by yourself. You never know what could happen. So that's my second one. That one's a short little one. My third thing is take stock of your surroundings, and if there's anything that makes you feel ashamed or embarrassed, ask yourself why and figure out, do you need to do something about it, or is it something you need to change your attitude about? One example of something that used to make me feel embarrassed when I was a kid, we had this old, like crappy truck that had a snowplow on it, and it was like rusted and old, and it was an amazing truck. It ran forever, and honestly, looking back, it's the best investment my dad ever made. One of the best investments. It was a great thing for him to buy because it lasted for so long. But I hated getting dropped off for school in that truck. I was so embarrassed. I was like, we drive this crappy truck and blah, blah, blah. But that was in my mind. That was something that I needed to change around because that truck ended up making my family a lot of money, and the snowplow was really handy in the winter. So that's an example of maybe needing to change your mind. And another thing is also related to cars, and I just did a car clean out video. And the whole thing that sparked that was I gave a girl that I work with a ride home, and when she got into my car, I was just mortified because my car was so gross. It had like all the dirt from the winter, and it had a bunch of trash in it, and I had to like clear off the front seat. It was so embarrassing, and it just like, it was not dignified. So I cleaned out my car and I feel a lot more confident about giving people rides now. So evaluate your surroundings and see what you can do about making yourself feel better. My next tip is to be realistic about the promises you make to yourself and then keep them. Building trust with yourself has a lot to do with how much personal dignity you have. I didn't know this until a few years ago. I thought it was no big deal to break promises to yourself. If you break your word to yourself over and over again, you're really going to shred your sense of personal dignity and your confidence too. That's not going to be good. I'm not sure why that didn't click for me, but a few years ago it did, and my life is so much better now that I have decided to show up for myself more and be more realistic about what I can and can't expect from myself. I've found from my work schedule to creative projects, taking on things, being involved in certain organizations, like I have to know my limits, and if I don't, then I start dropping the ball on people, and that feels like garbage. So I had to be realistic with myself when I decided to start running. I had to know that I wasn't going to make it very far, so I had to set the bar really low. My first time out running, I just had to run to the end of my street, which is like half a mile, which is pretty far, but I'm not a terribly out of shape person, but it was actually pretty hard to run half a mile. And I had to just humble myself to that and understand that that's where I was. And then I built on that really slowly. And now, recently, I discovered I can run 3 miles because I built up to it. But I would have never been able to do that if I hadn't started with that little humble goal, because I would have injured myself. I wasn't in good enough shape to run 3 miles, and I had to be fair with myself. My 5th tip is to keep your promises to others and communicate clearly. That includes being on time, saying yes when you want to say yes, and making plans only when you want to, and write things down in a calendar so you don't double book yourself. I understand things come up and things beyond our control, but a lot of times you know that you're going to cancel on somebody. Let's be honest, you know you're going to cancel on them because you really don't want to hang out with them, but you don't want them to think that you don't like them. That's not nice. And it shreds your dignity, and it robs the other person of theirs, and it hurts. I feel like that was a little bit harsh, but it needed to be said. It definitely needed to be said. I think that's true. Number 6 is actually just restating number 5. So we're going to move on to number 7, and that is say no when you need to. It's totally fine. Don't let people guilt you into saying yes to things, because that's just going to build resentment, and that is going to make you sick to your stomach. That's going to make you sick to your stomach. It's going to make you dread your day. It's going to make you dread everything. So just say no. Nobody cares. It's fine. The next thing I want to tell you is, when you say no, don't feel obligated to explain yourself. We can all take a nice lesson from Mary Poppins, who says, "First of all, let me make one thing quite clear. I never explain anything. You don't owe anybody an explanation. No is a complete sentence, and they don't have to know why. Say no when you need to say no, and it'll keep you feeling so much lighter, and your stomach won't hurt, and it'll be so great." Number 9, I feel like, is a great thing that I learned over the past couple of years, and I want to share it with you, but I have to read it because I don't want to mess up. Number 9, set your own priorities and behave accordingly. Figure out what's important to you. I know what's important to me. Me, getting enough sleep and feeling good, my marriage, taking care of my home, my family, the people that I love, and making time to sew, and getting a video out every week. That's really important to me. There are a lot of things that try to take over that I just have to say no to. So take a morning to think about what is really important to you and where your priorities are and what you need in order to have enough energy to live your life, what you need to have in place, and guard that. My last tip, and this is a big one. I did this for so long. I can't believe I did this. And I felt myself humiliate myself over and over and over again doing this. And it almost drove me completely out of my mind until I turned the corner on it. Do not engage with people who make you feel like garbage or ashamed of how you behave. I can get swept up in my environment. I am very much a chameleon. I like to agree with everyone. I like for everyone to feel like they're right. I like for everyone to feel validated, and I like everyone to feel like they're doing a great job even if they're not. I don't know what's wrong with me, but that's what I fall into. I had to get a handle on this. It is so easy to fall down a trash talking rabbit hole and into gossip. It's big fun in the moment, and then as soon as I get done with that, I always feel like trash walking away. And I've also walked into situations where I knew I was the one being talked about before. I get it. There are probably things about me that are super annoying. Not everyone's cup of tea. I can't be. But I'm a lot of people's cup of tea, and they really adore me, and I really adore them. So stick to company that loves you, and you will have a lot more energy. You'll feel the love from those people, and you won't have to live in a paranoid way. Those are my 10 tips. Actually 9, because 5 and 6 ended up being the same tip. But living with more dignity, highly recommend. I give that 10 out of 10. And I do want to give you a tip on how to help others build their own dignity. And the way you help give other people their dignity is by listening to them and taking their experience seriously. So no matter how much you want to push your experience on them, try not to, and try to engage with people on a real level and hear who they are, because that's going to make them feel respected. And I think we could all use a lot of respect these days. I respect you. I love that you're here. Thank you so much for watching this video. I love, love, love having you all here, and it's so much fun to make these for you. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a comment or a like, or any ways that you incorporate more dignity into your life. Let me know how you do it. And I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful day today. And I will see you next week, friends. Bye for now.